SummerSlam 2025 Night 1 and Night 2 are over, and today a professional wrestling referee is going to stop and rank every match from the worst to the best. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Indy Baldref, and like I said, I'm a professional wrestling referee. SummerSlam 2025 Night 1 and Night 2 are over, and if you haven't seen my predictions video, go ahead and watch that. We're going to dive into it a little bit in this video, but I will have another video where I recap SummerSlam 2025 Night 1 and Night 2, give more in-depth review as well. So once that's available, anywhere is up here, click, and you'll be redirected to that. Now, we have 12 matches to rank. Let's get started. All right, in last place, Jacob Fatu going on against Solo Sikoa, trying to win the United States Championship. He finally gets his hands on Solo, finally has his opportunity to win the United States Championship in a steel cage match. This match, even though it was the worst match of the weekend, in my opinion, I still think it was all right. It was very predictable, and if you watch the predictions video, we pretty much got it right? Solo was not going to pin Jacob Fatu, not make him tap out, so we knew that if Solo did win, he would escape the cage and win that way. And that's pretty much what happened. I guess I'm just sick of the whole bloodline thing. It's been running now for what, like 5 years? I know it's different members. I know it's the Bloodline 2.0, but yeah, I'm just tired of the whole Bloodline shenanigans. All right, at number 11, Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Now, the stipulation of this was silly. I don't get what they're doing with Karrion Kross either. I don't get what's happening in this rivalry. I think Karrion Kross is pretty much done after this, from what I understand, and from what is being portrayed on television. It doesn't look like they are going to push him. You know, hey, maybe AEW will take him. Who knows? At number 10, we have Jelly Roll and Randy Orton against Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. This was a surprisingly solid matchup. What I like about this is that it had such an unpredictable ending. I did not think that Jelly Roll would be eating a pinfall, and props to him for taking the pinfall and not making Orton, Paul, or Drew look bad. The match was fine, right? Like, it was a solid tag team match. I think we're spoiled with celebrities like Bad Bunny, who are just so good for some reason. I still think Bad Bunny and Damian Priest had the best celebrity match ever. This match was, like I said, it was good. I mean, nothing special, nothing horrible. The ending surprised me, and I saw a lot of other people's prediction videos, and I don't think I've seen very many people who predicted that Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre were going to win. So, hats off to the WWE for surprising us. At number 9, we have Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria in a no disqualification, no count-out match. Remember, we have to specify that for some reason. For Becky's title. I think we knew, and we said in the prediction video too, that Becky would retain and that Bayley would have some sort of involvement. And Bayley did come out. I'm putting this match maybe a little bit higher up than most people, and I'm kind of just putting the whole handcuff zip tie thing aside. Like that botch was very unfortunate. Is Bayley going to turn heel and side with Becky? And that's kind of the story that they're telling with this, and that's what I predicted, and I'm glad that we didn't get an ending at SummerSlam, right? You don't always need an end to a storyline at a big pay-per-view. You can always have a middle rivalry in there as long as there's a big payoff somewhere in the show, which there was for Cody and Cena. So yeah, I thought this match was fine, botch aside. Like I said, I might be putting this one a little bit higher than others, but I think it's a good spot for it. At number 8, we have the Women's Tag Team Championship match. We have the Judgment Day defending their championship against the new team of Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. This match surprised me a little bit. I thought I would enjoy this match. I really liked this match. I think this match was great. I think that whatever they've allowed Charlotte to show, they've kind of allowed her to put more of her actual self in the character. and I find she's just so much more tolerable. You know, the fact that she's flip-flop titles and that she's a 14-time world champion kind of always threw me off of Charlotte, and I never wanted to see her in the title picture because of that. She was in the title picture for years and won 14 championships in such a short amount of time. But now that she's in the tag team division with Alexa, who I'm a big fan of Alexa Bliss, I think it was a great pairing. I think the whole, you know, we're not friends, you know, it's almost like an enemies to lovers story, I guess, or enemies to friends story in this case. And it's great. It reminds me a little bit of Team Hell No, just no psychologists in there to help mediate. But I was a fan of this match. I think it went really well, and I'm happy that Alexa Bliss and Charlotte won. I never thought I'd say that I'm happy that Charlotte Flair won a championship in the WWE, but SummerSlam, I don't know what you did, but it worked. And at number 7, we have the Intercontinental Championship match. We have AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio has been avoiding this matchup for months, and AJ Styles finally gets his hands on him. So what does he do? He tries to get Dominic Mysterio disqualified. I think I might be a little too hard on this match. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good match. I think some people might have liked it a little more than I did. It was very much the highlights of Eddie Guerrero's career thrown into a match, which I was a big fan of Eddie, so I was happy with this match. Just a few things kind of bothered me. So the story leading up to this is Dominic Mysterio very clearly does not want a match with AJ Styles. He's doing anything he can to avoid it. He's getting these doctor's notes saying that he can't compete. He's avoiding AJ Styles backstage as much as he can. He's trying to get out of this match. And AJ Styles wants this championship match. So what does AJ Styles do? He does the Eddie Guerrero spot where he fakes the chair shot to the head and tries to get Dominic Mysterio disqualified. And that threw me off. Because if Dominic Mysterio would have gotten disqualified, AJ Styles wouldn't have won the championship. And he wouldn't have been able to get his hands on Dominic Mysterio. So story-wise, that just kind of really threw me off. And I think that's why this match is a little bit lower, because once I got thrown off, it was just hard to get back into the match. But the match itself was good. We had the Eddie Guerrero Kurt Angle spot where Dominic Mysterio untied his boot and AJ Styles went for the calf crusher, like how Kurt Angle went for the ankle lock and the boot slipped off. I thought that was a neat callback. Dominic Mysterio ends up winning this match and retaining his championship. So all in all, it was a good match. I just think it threw me off a bit. And at number 6 for the Women's Championship, Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill. This match was a lot better than I thought it was. And let me say that whatever I said in my prediction video about Jade Cargill, I slightly take it back. You can tell that Tiffany was carrying this match a little bit, but Jade Cargill stood her ground in a championship match on a big show. She sold well. You know, the spots were clean. There was some stuff that was like, oh no, they you know, like they kind of mess it up and you're like, oh shoot, okay, just run it back. But overall, this match was really good and really surprising. I'm glad that Tiffany retained. I think if Jade would have won, I might have put this a little bit lower. I'm really glad that we were right in our prediction video and that Tiffany Stratton retained the championship. I think that was the right move for them. Jade Cargill still showed that she has improved quite a bit. And one day she'll be there, but not yet. And at number 5, we have the other Women's Championship match. We have Naomi defending against Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. I thought this was going to be my match of the weekend, so I am a little disappointed to put it this low. But it's still pretty high up there, right? It's still at number 5. Out of 12 matches, that's pretty good. The match itself was good. I just think it's Io Sky and Rhea Ripley are on a different level. When you have Naomi in there, I could tell she was having a hard time keeping up. And Io Sky might be the best women's wrestler ever in the WWE. In the WWE. Rhea Ripley might be the most over woman ever. Like to the point where people who don't know wrestling know who Rhea Ripley is, and they might not recognize Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes, right? Like there's a few people that non-wrestling fans will recognize John Cena, The Rock. Now, I think Rhea Ripley's up there, honestly. The match itself was good, right? But it's just, you could tell almost that, like, Naomi didn't go up to their level. They kind of went not down to her level, but they met in the middle. And I have nothing against Naomi. I've always enjoyed Naomi. Once again, she's just not Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. And coming off of their stellar match at Evolution, which is my match of the year so far, and I think it'll remain my match of the year. I think that match was perfect. Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley with the cash-in at the end. Perfect. This match wasn't that match, and I didn't expect it to be. And I know I shouldn't think of it while watching this. It's like watching Infinity War and Endgame, right? Endgame was good. Infinity War was just better, and I feel like that's what this was. At number 4, the TLC Tag Team match. I said in my prediction video, I thought this was going to be too messy and that I wasn't going to enjoy this match. And I know that it was a spot fest, but it was such a fun spot fest. The TLC Tag Team match really blew my expectations out of the water. And it might be because I had no expectations for this match. I thought it was going to be messy and it just wasn't going to be that great. But no, my goodness, this was fantastic. For 12 people in a ring in a TLC match, they all got their spots in. Every team had a shine. Every team was able to show, why they deserve to be champions. And then you have the Wyatt Six retaining the championship, which we were right. We knew it was going to happen. We guessed it in the prediction video. But it doesn't make this match predictable, right? I did not think this match was going to be as good as it was. There was a lot of crazy spots. You have the Spanish Fly through the table. You have Candice LeRae going through a ladder. You have Montez Ford flipping over the turnbuckle at the corner post and diving on people. Like, it was crazy. It was a crazy match. It was a memorable match. And it was just something that you needed on a big show like SummerSlam. Before we get into the top 3, comment down below, did you enjoy this year's SummerSlam and what was your favorite match? If you want to rank all the matches like this, go ahead, right? This is my opinion. Listen, I might be a referee, but it doesn't mean that I know everything. My goodness, it's wrestling, right? It's subjective. Art is subjective. You watch it, you either like it or you don't. And when wrestling is good, wrestling is good. And SummerSlam was good. So now, let's get into the top 3. At number 3, we have Cody Rhodes versus John Cena in a street fight for the undisputed WWE Championship. I think a lot of people really like this match. And I think a lot of people enjoyed this match way more than I did. I know I've said the TLC was a good spot fest. I felt like this one was too spotty for what it was. You have a big championship match. You have Cody Rhodes and John Cena finally getting their hands on each other. Not that people were expecting a double turn, which they were. But you have Cena somehow turn face on SmackDown, and it's like the last few months just didn't matter and never happened. And that threw me off a little bit. Right? When you have a match like this, with this magnitude, with, these two big stars, you expect something fantastic. And that's what we expected at WrestleMania. And at WrestleMania, we got possibly the worst match ever. I might be a little hard on it. But this match was a definite improvement from the WrestleMania match. This match had everything you wanted in a street fight. It just felt rushed, which is funny because I'm pretty sure this match went on for like 30 minutes. Bell to bell, not even counting the entrances. But it just felt so fast. It felt like they did a spot and then they got to the next one and they got to the next one and they got to the next one. And they were really good at emoting, right? You saw Cody Rhodes' facial expressions were great. John Cena too. Like, you really knew what was happening in between the moves. But it just felt so rushed, and it took like 8 attitude adjustments, 8 crossroads. It just, I don't know. It's just not my style of match. It's still at number 3. It was still a really good match. Just not my cup of tea. And then we have Lesnar showing up at the end. Once Cody Rhodes wins, he leaves, John Cena stays in the ring, and then you're kind of expecting, okay, someone's going to come out. Brock Lesnar comes out, F5's John Cena, and now he's inserted himself into the John Cena retirement tour. I don't know how I feel about that. I think we'll have to talk about that a little more in depth. I think I'll have to make another video on the ending of SummerSlam Night 2, or a short at least, but yeah, I'm still not sure how I feel about Lesnar and Cena again. They had their SummerSlam matchup a few years ago, which was Lesnar just absolutely destroying Cena. Maybe Cena finally gets his revenge. They've had some good matches. I just don't know, is this the time? I guess I was just expecting with Cena's retirement tour that he'd be elevating younger stars and that it wouldn't necessarily be like a best of. At number 2, we have Jey Uso and Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. I thought this match was going to be good. I didn't think it was going to be great. It was a great opener for SummerSlam. It really set the mood, really set the tone to what SummerSlam was going to. Had some great spots. You know, the heels got their heat in, and then the hot tag happened. I didn't think I'd ever rank a Jey Uso match this high. Nothing against Jey Uso. I know that it's the internet's very split on Jey Uso, if they like him or if they don't. I like him. Do I think he should have been world champion and beat Gunther? No. Did I like his WrestleMania match against Gunther? Not at all. Do I think his match with Gunther on Raw was better? 100%. Right? At least they redeemed that. But this match was good. Like, this match, I couldn't ask for more in a tag team match, honestly. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso end up picking up the win. I was surprised that Jey Uso was the one who scored the pinfall. Basically, what happened was Braun Breaker went to spear Jey Uso, but Roman Reigns pushed him out of the way. It ended up getting speared. Jey Uso takes him out. Jey Uso then does a splash on Bronson Reed. 1, 2, 3. Great storytelling. I like I said, I have nothing against this match. I thought it was a really, really good one. And at number 1, Gunther versus CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. This was storytelling at its finest. This was like a Scorsese flick of wrestling, right? Like, this was story-based. There was technical wrestling at the start. Gunther kept going for the chops, but CM Punk knew that that was his ultimate weapon, and he kept deflecting it until finally Gunther cuts him off when he's on the top rope, chops his leg, and then just starts beating the crap out of CM Punk, like how you'd expect Gunther to beat the crap out of someone. It was fantastic. This match was perfect. This match was 100% perfect. It is my second favorite match of the year, for sure. And then to end it all, you have Seth Rollins, who faked the injury. He swerved us. We talked about it in the predictions video. We thought it wasn't going to happen. We didn't want to get our hopes up, but it did happen, and it was great. Seth Rollins with the second heist of the century, and yeah, it was fantastic. A fantastic match. Fantastic way to end night 1, too. And I think because of that, the Cody Cena match maybe just wasn't as great because I had Gunther and Punk, and that's what I wanted, right? I got my main event. I got my big match that I wanted, and then this kind of just felt like leftovers? Not to be mean, it just kind of felt like leftovers. But yeah, Gunther and CM Punk, one of the best matches in SummerSlam history, and my favorite men's match of the year for sure. But that is my ranking for SummerSlam. Once again, comment down below what was your favorite match, and if you want to rank all of them, go for it. Right? Everyone has their opinion. Your ranking's probably way different than mine. Like I said, I'm a lot higher on some of the matches, and some of them disappointed, whereas people probably really enjoyed, you know, Cody Cena. That might be the best match of the weekend for some people. For me, though, Gunther and CM Punk stole the show because they were the main event, but stole the weekend, I guess. Once again, I am Indie Bald Ref. Leave a like, subscribe, join the conversation, and I will see all of you beautiful people next time.